Luke Getsky. Luke Getsky, the Raiders offensive coordinator, was fired yesterday. Luke Getsky came from the Chicago Bears. He was the person who was leading the charge for Justin Fields when he was the quarterback there. And let me ask you guys, I guess this asks for a bigger, this is a bigger question to ask. Does this signal that Antonio Pierce is worried about his job security? Do you think that this means Antonio Pierce is almost on the outs in the Raiders? Because you don't fire a coordinator unless you feel the pressure about your job.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No one fires a coordinator thinking that, hey, things are going to be fine. You know, this to me, this signals that Antonio Pierce is a little uncomfortable where his job standing is. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he should be. But and it also goes the initial thing. This Raiders organization is being run terribly right now. It's just being run poorly. And Luke Getsky, and this is maybe it's just hindsight is 2020. Of course, we can say that, but he just wasn't a good hire this offseason. I never saw it. Right, I saw somebody where he had consistent issues with the Chicago Bears, and it wasn't always your quarterback. And that's the issue I think in the NFL. A lot of it is coaching. You go look at any situation, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, these quarterbacks can play. Justin Fields can play. You just have to put them in the right position. So for the Chicago Bears to go out and fire Luke Getsky, and then for the Raiders to say, hey, I'm going to go hire Luke Getsky as my offense coordinator. I just never understood it. I never saw it. I didn't see the connection there. And I just didn't understand, especially if you had guys at your quarterback position who respectfully, they weren't upgrades over Justin Fields. They're about the same tier, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. So I never understood the hire in the first place. And for Antonio Pierce to be outing Luke Getsky, I think that it does signal that he feels like his job might be on the line, that he feels that his job, and rightfully so, because it should be, with a team like the Las Vegas Raiders, with an organization with Mark Davis and what that they're doing and how they run the organization. Head coach in, head coach out. Gruden in, McDaniels in. Now you got interim head coach Antonio Pierce. He shouldn't feel like his job is safe. And it's just because of the way the organization is being run. So I think that this Raiders team, especially with all the rumors of Tom Brady, with Deion Sanders, with Shadur Sanders, I think that Antonio Pierce knows that he's got to get the shit corrected now. And that's the hard part because I don't know if this team can make a push. This team is fine. They're okay, but Minshew is whatever. Aiden O'Connell's whatever. You just don't have the dudes on your team right now to go out there and make a push. And that's my concern with this team. And that's my concern for Antonio Pierce is that he wouldn't be given a true shot. I don't think that if this season, if they fire him, Malik, I don't think that that's a true shot. Said, hey, we gave you a true shot to be the head coach of this team. It didn't work out.
Here's something interesting. Apparently, they didn't just fire Luke Getsky. Luke Getsky is the one that's making rounds. They fired Luke Getsky, their offensive line coach, James Craig, and their quarterbacks coach.
Really?
They fired them all. To me, that's a little bit that's overkill. You don't make all those changes. That's basically you signifying that all of our issues are majority on our offensive side of the ball. That's scapegoat behavior.
Yep.
That's scapegoat behavior. That loss to the Bengals couldn't be the one that just like, hey, damn, we need to make fully changes. Who else are you gonna bring in right at this point of the season and let them do the job effectively? This is what I'm trying to say. A lot of these coaches will make moves to save their own ass. And to me, that signifies poor leadership more than not. What do you find a quarterback's coach for? What do you find an offensive line's coach for? Like, yeah, things were bad, but it also didn't help that the offensive line was beat up. It didn't help that the offensive line was beat up.
It didn't help that the quarterback was beat up.
The quarterback was beat up, and you went to Desmond Ritter at one point. I don't know. I just think that that's a very drastic move from Antonio Pierce, and I think that these are the type of things that leadership is based upon. Now, who's going to want to take over those jobs and not think that he won't throw them under the bus?
Yeah.
To me, that's poor leadership.